Good evening, everyone. This is Wednesday, the 10th day of September 2025. Thanks for joining me in this video. This is what Bashir El-rufai, the son of Nasser El-rufai, wrote that is causing controversy on Nigerians' internet space. It reads that regional autonomy can easily solve the situation of end games. It is crucial as all citizens of said regions would be cognizant of whom they can directly hold responsible for their woes. I don't believe in this esoteric concept of one Nigeria. Escobar and I can agree on this. Who is he referring to? Escobar. Your guess is good as mine. Now, take a look at this newspaper report of some decades ago. You see, it reads that I don't believe in one Nigeria. That is from Bola Ahmed Tinubu, okay? You know, Tinubu was in exile before now. They chased him out of Nigeria. Not now that Tinubu is trying to intimidate Nnamdi Kanu and the rest of them. Tinubu was even saying that he don't believe in one Nigeria before. And he went on exile just because of that, because of the military rule, looking for him to kill and so on and so forth. So when you see all these politicians talking and trying to brainwash you, understand where they were coming from or where they are coming from. Some of them have died now. Maybe they did not even see the promised land they thought that they were even fighting for. But most of these people, when they even have power, they did the worst, more than even the military regime. So let us understand what El-rufai's son is saying. You know, sometimes in Nigeria, when you see truth, when you see sincerity, because you don't like the person it is coming from, you will hate it. What El-rufai's son said here is nothing but the truth. Now, let me take you back to some years ago. I read the history, I listened to Ojukwu in his recordings and so on and so forth. I also listened to one side of the story about Aburi Accord. What is Aburi Accord? The situation we are facing in Nigeria, where one region will be killing one region, crisis all over, that led to Gowon and Ojukwu going to Ghana's town called Aburi to have agreement. How do we stop this bloodshed? How do we stop all this blaming game? Just like what El-rufai's son is saying. Stay with me, I'm coming. So they had a full agreement that Gowon faced to implement and report. He said he's feeling, he was, whether it's headache or fever, that he was sick. That is the reason why he did not announce the Aburi Accord they went to. Old lying man. That is apart. So Ojukwu now, aired their report. He recorded it. He now played it for everybody to hear. So they said the British consulate in Lagos then asked Gowon, don't do that. With some traditional rulers who, convinced Gowon that if you do this, you are making Igbos to develop and they can have their own country. That was the bad advice. And when when Gowon turned back to the Aburi Accord, Ojukwu said no. Since you people did not agree, this was only the way our people could be saved in this contraction. So let us have our own country. They now declare Biafra. Nigeria said, no, since you declare Biafra, what do? Britain told Nigeria, go to war. We'll support you with arms and everything. That was how this Biafra Nigerian war you used to hear, this was how it started. Forget about the things that happened before then, but this was just the main issue. Now, after so many years, we are still saying the same thing. And this is what Nnamdi Kanu has been preaching, that Nigeria needs a referendum. Nnamdi Kanu was even talking about restructuring when he started. Restructure this country. Tear this power from Abuja apart. One man will be in his village causing nuisance in the whole country. Abuja will be protecting him. A governor will come out, just be loyal to Abuja, kill your people, hate your people. Abuja is going to protect the person. Abuja is against the people. So, what Bashir El-rufai is saying is a very nice idea. However, this regional autonomy is in list. That is if people even agree in regional autonomy. For me, if you ask me, I will tell you that regional autonomy is good, but the best thing is let them even have a referendum. Let people decide. Let everyone decide whether they will remain in a regional autonomy with others in one Nigeria, or let them divide it. You see, I used to say this time will come, people will beg for this country to separate, and that time it will be too late. Is it not with all this thing I'm saying? Who is going to save your village? Oh, you think the state police are going to will save your police from militias that these politicians support? Are you not hearing that these people will go to army barrack and kill the soldiers? Don't you hear that these people will capture soldiers and behead them? So you think state police will just stop it? They will go to their barracks and do what they want to do. If they can defeat Nigerian army, give them blows in their barracks, what is state police that can solve the problem? State police will help. I'm not against it, by the way, but it's not the solution. Anyway, El-rufai's son is throwing light that one Nigeria is not sustainable. Everybody knows, even Tinubu knows, like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, or let me say 20 years ago, Tinubu knew that one Nigeria is not sustainable. He said he don't believe in one Nigeria. And today he's the president. And when someone like me will come and tell you that I don't believe in one Nigeria, that Nigeria should be in regional autonomy or separation, someone like Tinubu's aide will come out and tell me that this guy is crazy, whereas their God, their political God, don't still believe in one Nigeria. Anyway, Tinubu not believing in one Nigeria is evidence. His doctors, his heads, and everything, he can't do anything in Nigeria. His refinery, or their, let me use plural words, their refinery is not in Nigeria. Most of their businesses and assets are not in Nigeria. How do you come out to tell me that these politicians believe in one Nigeria? They know Nigeria is not sustainable. Nigeria is full of insecurity that they imported. This country is not that okay. Oh yeah, my son, go abroad, go to London, go America for school. It is only the gullible ones following them that just clap. Let us do next election, next election. Anyway, that was what El-rufai's son said. Let us go through the article from Sowore Reporters to understand more details of this controversy. Sowore Reporters reported that El-rufai's son Bashir rejects one Nigeria, calls for regional autonomy, takes veiled jab at Tinubu as Escobar. Alright, now this is the details of the article. Bashir El-rufai, son of the former Kaduna State Governor Nnamdi El-rufai, has declared that he does not subscribe to the idea of one Nigeria, insisting that regional autonomy remains the only viable solution to the country's challenges. And I believe that too. He employed a veiled reference, calling President Bola Tinubu Escobar in the nest without explicitly stating his identity. Pablo Escobar, the notorious Colombian drug lord, has become a nickname used online by some opponents of President Tinubu. The nickname is rooted in long-standing allegation from the 1990s when Tinubu was linked to a drug trafficking investigation in the United States of America. Court records shows that Tinubu forfeited $460,000 to the United States government in connection with a cocaine-related case. You all heard about the news during the election when they were raising dust to use that to disqualify Tinubu. Now the article continues. Although he was never convicted, critics have used this forfeiture to question his integrity and draw parallels to Pablo Escobar, who was one of the most notorious drug traffickers in history. In a post shared on his X handle on Tuesday, Bashir El-rufai expressed strong dissatisfaction with the current structure of Nigeria, stating that the president-lane game between different regions of the country can only be addressed through regional autonomy. He said, regional autonomy can easily solve this situation of blame games. It is crucial as all citizens of said regions will be cognizant of whom they can directly hold responsible for their woes. El-rufai dismissed the idea of a unified national identity, calling it esoteric and unconvincing. I don't believe in this esoteric concept of one Nigeria. Escobar and I can agree on that, he added, in what many have interpreted as a jab at President Tinubu. Meanwhile, El-rufai's statement echoes a decades-old stance once attributed to Tinubu himself in a Disney report dated April 13, 1997. Tinubu was quoted as saying, I don't believe in one Nigeria. That is the article I showed you. Newspaper report that I showed you from the beginning of this video. The whole report suggested that President Tinubu, during his years as an opposition figure, once expressed skepticism about Nigeria's unity. Earlier in February 2015, El-rufai warned that President Tinubu, whom he linked to Pablo Escobar, earlier to February 2025, El-rufai warned that President Tinubu, whom he linked to Pablo Escobar, would be making his greatest mistake if he attempted to arrest his father. He said, I have been hearing this same rumor of arrest, detention, and torture in some dungeon in the NSA's office, where Emefiele was allegedly tortured to resign as CBN governor in July 2024, when the so-called report of Kaduna Assembly began circulating. Now, the biggest mistake Pablo Escobar and his henchmen will make. On July 31st, 2024, Bashir El-rufai again mocked President Tinubu as Pablo, ridiculed the First Lady Remi Tinubu, and praised Obi as a potential presidential candidate for the 2027 election. In his post, El-rufai predicted that Obi would win the next election before the First Lady could finish preparing breakfast on election day. Anyway, the article continues, but all these things El-rufai's son said before is what Sowore Reporters is trying to bring up. But my focus is not all those things. My focus is about what he said, that one Nigeria is not sustainable, that he is opting for regional government. That is what we have been saying since. Okay, for those of you who do not understand what this guy is saying, give yourself next 10 years, you will beg for this country to separate. It's a promise. This is not a wish of the people, like this is what they want. No, it is conviction that have produced this. The situation at ground has produced this, and there is no option. People will continue to die. Nobody knows who is next. Insecurity will continue to grow. No stopping. Why? Because the people who are in charge of the military, police, they can't do anything because they imported them. They would direct the military on what to do. Military can't say no. So this thing is complicated, and who is going to help the matter? For me, if you don't know now that Nigeria is not sustainable, and without regional autonomy or separation in total, this country will begin and continue to go down. If you have a contrary opinion, let me know in the comment section. I am Okochapi myself, a complete reporter.